Welcome back. It's 2026. This is episode 20 of the Property Coaching Network podcast. Today we have Alex Anderson, who I felt was a good guest to start off the podcast in 2026. Alex has done a lot of work with Smart Sales and Investments. He's referred a lot of deals. This is not an upsell podcast about referring to Smart Sales and Investments. This just felt like a good natural beginning to the podcast for 2026. Given that Alex has got the job he's in, the amount of deals he's actually done, how he's went about it, loads of people that are actually in jobs, corporate jobs, businesses, just apprenticeships or whatever it is, will take a lot from this from Alex, because he's actually just stayed so consistent, took action, worked hard, got this high paying, slightly high stress corporate job potentially, and still making it work. So it's very, very relevant to a lot of people out there. So I'll probably just introduce you. Most of it you're going to say, mate. But I tell everybody just a little bit about you, mate. About where you started, not back to school and all that sort of stuff, but kind of getting into property, and where that all started for you, mate.
Yeah. Firstly, thanks for having me. It's my first podcast, so please go easy on me. But I got started back in 2023. Must have been about June time, when I had a pot of cash. I'd sold my home, and I was moving to get my son into a better school catchment, and I was like, right, I'll go back to renting. And I was like, but I might never have this pot of cash again. It's like 40, 50k or whatever it was. And I always knew property investing was a good thing to do. So I was like, well, at that point as well, my partner's family do it. So I was like, speaking to them, asking for advice. Well, they invest in property. Right. That's like her mum's main source of income. All the other sisters and brother do it and stuff. So
I didn't know that.
I know. Well,
so what is it
that's Indian background, eh? Like they've got that like mentality to know to invest in assets. So I like looked to them for a bit of advice, and I was like, I'm going back to renting. So I went back to renting, got my son into the school catchment. I used that money to buy a buy-to-let. But I didn't know about discounted properties, so I absolutely spunked all the money.
So what was the first deal then? Because I don't even know anything about this.
It was, well, you manage it.
I know I manage it, but I didn't know about you're acquiring it and stuff like that, the numbers and how you made an arse, obviously.
So 2-bed flat, Hag Hill. At that point, I thought Hag Hill was Denniston. So, I then realised after I bought it wasn't. Walked in, I fell in love with it. Hardwood floors. I was like, oh, I could live here, which is the total wrong mentality for investing. Yeah. So valued at 115. Oh, it pains me to say, I paid 131.
You're going to say like I paid 116, 117 now?
Oh, it went to a closing date. And you know what was the worst thing? There's a few elements to this tale. I'd had a stocks and shares ISA, and I had about 10 grand in it. It was doing well. I'd had that for like 6-7 years. I liquidated that to pay for it. Right. So gone. And then the worst thing, 2 weeks before completion, I was like, I'd sold my house. I'm not going to buy it personally because I'm in a higher tax band. So I'll avoid that. So I'll avoid taking the money personally. I'll set up a limited company, but I'll still be able to avoid the ADS. 2 weeks before completion, solicitor's like, here's your bill. I'm like, why has it got ADS in it? Aye. And they're like, you have to do it because it's just through a limited company. Aye. And all my money's gone. So I couldn't pull out. I wanted to save face. So I did a money transfer from a credit card.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Were they all right with that then?
Yeah, because that was purely just to pay the solicitor's bill, not for any of like the.
Because that's a good point, because it wasn't until, I don't know, maybe a year or a couple of years into property, and it was like the first time buyer thing, and buying without ADS is not a thing at all if you're a limited company, regardless. So that was quite a good read. It was one of the tips I remember getting. I was like, oh, that's a really good tip, that. You know what I mean?
It makes no sense that you should.
No,
you should be
it's
able to avoid
dwelling supplement, but limited company you're getting hit with. It doesn't make sense, you know.
So that was it. That was my route into investing, and obviously by that point, spunked all my money. And it's going to take me God knows how long to save up another 50k. So I then started getting hammered with meta ads about sourcing, and I then just sought out learning. I went to McFadden's Property Jumpstart event in December 2023. I think maybe the month prior, I actually did Kyle Black's online course for sourcing. Aye. That's where I met Gary. and we've been friends ever since. And that was me on the journey to just learning. And then it wasn't until January, I think. Well, do you know what? I was driving home Christmas, December 2023. I listened to you on the Scottish Property podcast, and I was like, oh, he sounds sound as anything. Like, I think I'd get on with him talking about this investor group. And then you had the network. And, you know, secretly, I've told you this before, I was driving home, I'm like, who the fuck would pay £59 to be part of a network group? I was like, what? That's so much money. But then I messaged you in January, connected with you. I had a deal in Paisley. We didn't manage to sell it. Came out to your Millholm cottage, walk round right before the renovation had started. Met you, met Matt. At that point, I was in between jobs, just being made redundant. Had a pot of cash. Started mentoring with you on the 1st of February, 2024. And that is, to me, when I started sourcing.
Yeah.
So I'm just coming up to the end of 2 years.
Aye. So see the first buy-to-let then, when you obviously made a bit of an arse of the purchase price, did that not put you off at all? Was that no? What sort of rent, and what was your strategy with that? Did you just tie up your money because you couldn't refinance and whatnot?
Oh yeah,
Aye.
Money's totally tied up. If you looked at it from a money all out perspective, it probably like 150 years. But actually one of the benefits is that I've had that for 2 years now, so I just refinanced it and I've pulled out equity. Within 2 years, I pulled out net profit at like 12.5k. So that's not too bad.
How much did it jump in value?
It went from 115 to 135, and I didn't go on to 75%, it went on to an 80%, so pulled out a little bit more.
Right. And you paid
131.
so it was aye. Fair enough.
So it's already like, it's given me back enough, and
Yeah.
I don't look back on it negatively, because if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't be here. I
100%,
just wouldn't have looked even at
100%.
sourcing.
It's one of the ones where it's just a mistake that you made, innit? But you didn't know any different. You don't know what you don't know type thing. So it's what it is. But just where is that one again?
Hag Hill. So it's on Aiken Street.
Aye. So you get into the sourcing part of it. That's what you wanted to do. Was it predominantly just getting into sourcing?
It was at least to learn it, and I just started learning it. It felt right for me. I felt like I'd sourced my buy-to-let. I liked that process. It was cool to go out and do the analysis and all that. So I was like, could I just do this on a bigger scale? And yeah, I just started walking that path, and here we are.
So how did the first sort of 6 months sourcing go?
Oh, it's tough. It is really tough. Like, you've just got to be willing to face rejection. Like, we're talking about lows. Sourcing is mundane at times.
Aye.
It's repetitive. You're doing things that there's like so many plates to spin, and it's hard to spin them all at one time. And for me, it can lead to me procrastinating, or
I was really bad for that.
yeah, or like fretting over, I need to post on socials, but then I need to look on Rightmove, but then I need to be doing my Facebook group posts and all that.
But this is the thing with sourcing, right? So for me, I went right in with the sourcing, quite offshore, and that was my thing. Sourcing, went onto the shipyards, took a job in the shipyards, and just sourced constantly. The amount of deals that I could have took myself, I should have took myself, sourcing flips and all that. But it was the cash flow. But I seen firsthand how much actually has to go into it, just exactly what you're describing there. Because sourcing is the entry level as such for into the property industry. So it's like everybody decides, let's start sourcing. But if you want to actually source and make a business out of it and do it properly, it is all that stuff. It's like how many viewings you're going to do a week, how many networking events you're going to try and attend, how many coffees you're going to try and get out for, how many social media posts you're going to do. Then it's like, right, am I going to now run ads? Who's going to run my ads? Am I going to learn them? It's a lot more to it, isn't it?
Definitely. There's so many plates to spin. It's almost like hard to know where to give your time, where to give your attention to. But for me, I like, it's got to be finding deals. That's how you get the income. And for me, the easiest thing to neglect is the socials, which isn't necessarily a smart thing as well, because that is the stuff that could build you the brand, that gets you the deals. But for me, there are better ways for me to find deals at the moment, and more sustainable.
See, the socials, that's just massive. I think like I've been talking about it so much because we had a wee minute goal to get my Instagram to 10,000 followers last year. We just missed it by 6 days. But we were, so when they talk about buying followers, right? I was thinking about this the other day. You buy followers, you pay like £100, you get 5,000 followers, right? We've kind of bought it in a different way through marketing. So we ran marketing campaigns for the last 3-4 months to try and get people in, because that's your top of funnel type thing. That's your shop window where people are going to see you begin. Like my mate Craig Davison, who messaged you first about his property to sell because he's seen you in socials and he loves your content and all that. Yeah. And it was like, I was like, wait a minute here. So it's like, it's mega shop window stuff these days, isn't it? So I just think it's mega important.
I should have signed Craig up. I couldn't do that though. As soon as the point you said he's your best mate, I'm like, here, your mate's message me.
Another two sales in that street as well. It's one of the wee streets, we cul-de-sacs. A board goes up from the board, sells, and they're all like, oh, I'm going to sell with them, you know.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Aye. So, fast forward a bit then, sourcing. I mean, you're still obviously active doing the sourcing. What was the kind of next step in the journey as such when the sourcing? I mean, I know there was a conversation we had when my second sales role, Adam's job was coming up, and I had a conversation with you. And then I guess that's kind of when the job comes into it here, because you've got this, it was a high paying job, you've now moved to another job which is even higher paying, corporate job. So that wanting to move into property but not the job quite holding you back, you've managed to find a really good balance.
Yeah, I still battle with it every day, because it's never, sometimes I'm like, should I just go all in? It's what I want to do. I want to do property, but it would not be a wise decision. Exactly. The corporate job and the salary is a gift and a curse, because it's a fantastic salary, but then to match that income from doing property would be so difficult, because you wouldn't want to take all of that salary out of the business, because you'd want to be spending it on marketing and whatever else. So yeah, it is a gift and a curse. And I go through that battle of being like, I like my job just now and I'm managing to do property, but I really want to be full-time as well. But I don't know when the appropriate time will be to potentially just take the risk and go full-time. But the current job that I've taken, I've kind of thought, it's a good employer, good role, great money, great team, all of that. But I think the smart thing for me to do, I'm only 34, there's no rush for me to get out of a corporate job.
100%.
So how do I leverage that salary to invest in assets that might give me a bit of a safety net if come the time that I do want to just take the plunge and maybe have a bit of a cash pot as well?
So have you got a plan for that then? Because that was one of my questions later on, was going to be, when we start talking about fees and what you've earned and stuff, like, do they just go in a separate pot and then you're building up to then get the toll cross like flip, which we'll speak about, and get more assets, as you say, and then you've got the pot there, the salary there to obviously supplement that as well, because that could be a kind of, like you say, a slightly more longer term strategy.
Yeah, definitely the business money I don't touch. So for me, sourcing, estate agency, investing, it's not for me to take any money out and live on it. I live on my salary and I'm happy with that. And for me, I don't necessarily chase things that are going to make me the most profit. I would take a property on the market, something like in Shawlands, for like £500 profit, but purely because it's in my home area and I want to like build my brand in that area. So I'm not chasing the money, but yeah, it's in a different pot, and I want to do more flips. I want to do assisted sales. You've put me off buy-to-lets. I would do an SA if it made sense. Yeah. It's just, I feel like there's too many unknowns for me at the moment. I feel like there'd be a lot of hidden costs that I'd encounter. So I'm going to try and focus on building that cash pot and then sort of see where it takes me. But I don't have like a pure crafted out strategy. Like this year I want to do 4 flips. I want 5 buy-to-lets. I'm just sort of like taking it as it comes.
Are you? And taking each deal on its own merit type thing, because that's what, when I had a podcast with Matt, we've always kind of thought the same. We've kind of been at a similar stage of our journey a lot of the time, and he was sitting there and he was like, listen, I've got ones in Hoyk, cash on £100 a month. Like, what's the fucking point in that? Where I could sell it on, you can make 10, 15, 20 grand or whatever in a flip or a trade, even if you're making 5 grand, 10 grand in a trade, but it's building your cash pot. I've always been like, right now, I made the same mistake this year, by the end of last year, as I did the end of the previous year, and that I just had all my money out, And everybody, every property investor tells you they're skint all the time. They don't mean they're skint, you know what I mean? They've got assets, they've got things, they've got loads of money out, it's working for them, it's coming back. But I was in that stage again, which I promised myself a year ago I would never be in, and that I was just like, where is all my money? And then I had to go and count all had to actually start collating a list of all the projects, the stage where they're at, how much money was out in them and stuff like that. Yeah. So I just feel like the assets are great. You very rarely hear people talk about the portfolio makes them loads and loads of money, and that for me, when you're in your early stages, was no use. What was more useful was cash flow for sourcing, big pots of cash coming into my bank that I can then reinvest into other opportunities such as assisted sales, flips and whatnot. And then only the last sort of year and a half, I've actually looked at, right, I'll hold this asset, or I'll do whatever with it, So I'm still all for that. I still feel like I get more excited with the big chunks of cash rather than refinancing and getting it rented. Then it's like, oh, this is great, I'm getting £400 a month positive cash flow, but really you're like, could have sold that for 20 grand in profit, you know what I mean?
I know. I think you've said something like, everyone always asks you how many properties you got, as if that is like the gold standard to measure how confident of an investor you are. But then you might have like generated £1 million profit flipping with no buy-to-lets.
Nobody ever asks you how much money you've made flipping. Nobody asks you how many trades you've done, without doing any work to it. How much money have you made? They ask you how many buy-to-lets you got. And then it's like, and that was the thing back at the start with me anyway, how many buy-to-lets you got. I've not got any, I'm just sourcing. Oh, you're just sourcing. It was like almost I've looked down on.
Yeah.
It was the buy-to-let as the ego metric in property, I feel.
So when you're coming in, you can get a bit programmed in thinking, I need to build a portfolio.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to sort of unlearn, and that's when it helps talking to the likes of you, other people in the group, because you get those other inputs about the different strategies that are going on. So speaking to you about why it's not good, why it's not necessarily the best to build a buy-to-let portfolio when you don't have a pot of cash was actually helpful.
Now, don't get me wrong, property's long term, isn't it? So we all want to sort of have assets and build a portfolio and whatnot. But I just feel like there's a time and a place for it, and everybody's so fixated on getting the best numbers there now, whereas the market changes and whatever else, So like, you don't need the best deal, the all money out deal. You build a pot there now. And then once you're ready to invest, like go and get a handful of properties, go and build your portfolio then. That's just my opinion. That's my view on it. It stood me well, I feel. And when I said it to you, obviously you got into it, I know.
Definitely, because if for Tollcross, the flip, I was going to refurb it and I was going to refinance, and I've been back in my position before it where I had no money.
Aye.
So now that we're away to completing the flip, like, it gives me so much more comfort and flexibility having that pot of cash in the bank account, and I can like go on and buy another one and so on.
It's such a comfortable feeling, that, by the way, because you're not under this pressure. You don't feel this pressure to, I need to try and get something, I need to try and find money, I need to try and find a deal. Like, you've got the money there, you can go and spend a wee bit more in the marketing. You can go and just try and find deals a wee bit more comfortably. It's just a better feeling just having that money in the bank. You know what I mean? As much as you want to get it out, it's still good to have it there.
Definitely, because there's nothing worse than when for 6 months in a row you've been paying your limited company bills through your personal account. Oh, it's a killer, man. And I was in that position for a good few months.
Yeah. So just jump back a wee bit. So in terms of like the juggling of so what's your sort of week to week in your job look like now? 9 to 5?
Basically, 8 to, it's so flexible.
Is it?
They're brilliant. It's like, it's a job where you get measured based on the orders that you secure. So long as you hit your numbers at the end of the year, which is matched to your bonus, then they're kind of like, if you need to take 2 hours out of your day, go for it. That maybe the company doesn't feel that way, but my manager definitely does. So it's dead flexible.
So is juggling not really hard then? How many hours would you say you dedicate a day or a week to property then?
I would say 1 hour a day, maybe.
Is that all?
90 minutes a day.
So
I don't actually know.
So you've got an estate agency, we've not spoken about that yet. You've got an estate agency, you're still sourcing, you're marketing, you're in the network, we've had the flip on going, we've got the sort of joint venture we speak about, but that's a lot for us.
2 hours a day. Do you know what is probably the most time consuming thing is when there's a big pipeline of it, is packaging the deals.
Aye.
That's probably the most like thing where you actually need to focus and dedicate time. But everything else, like checking your ad campaign, seeing a lead come in on social media, just giving it a call. It's pretty quick. It's like 10 minutes and done.
What you doing with your leads now then, in terms of phoning them? Because if a lead comes in, you're at work and stuff. How are you managing that?
Honestly, I sometimes look at leads like a burden. Like I've paid 20 quid for this lead and I'm like, oh, I need to phone them now. And that's probably the part that I hate the most.
Yeah.
I'm so tempted to just be like, here, Adam, do you want this? But then I'm not doing any work and I'm not justifying why I should get a fee. So I know people say you should phone them within 5 minutes. And there might be stats around why you should do that. But I don't know if I necessarily agree.
Right.
Because I could phone people 48 hours later and it's like the perfect time for them. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, no worries, I'm on one agent currently. It expires in 3 weeks anyway. So I'm not totally ready to sell. Yeah. It's quite rare that someone's like, I need to sell right now. Mm-hmm. People have the luxury of time often. And that's why they typically sell on the market.
I think somewhat agree with that, to be honest, because most of the leads that we tend to get as well isn't people just contacting us and just waiting for us to waiting by the phone. I think the stat comes from, if they've just inquired and they phone you right away, they've not even got an opportunity to go and do another task or, go out the house and just whatever that...
Or fill out another ad form.
Fill out another ad form. There can be no excuses for them to say, no, I didn't do it. Or, some of the shit you get, right? Some of the excuses, no, I don't know what you're talking about in that. There can be no excuse for that, but I do feel like most of the leads are, like you say, they're on with another agent or, something, they've got a bit of time in their hands. It's not as if they need it done right there and this, but especially the ads that we're sort of running now. I don't know what sort of ads you're running, but we are based around, cost-free, stress-free, solution-based and whatnot. So, interesting point that, actually. Yeah, do you got to say something?
Things like that, people saying you need to phone them within 5-10 minutes. I try not to put that pressure on myself.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not free, I'm not free. Exactly. I'm working or whatever it might be. So yeah, there's multiple ways to skin a cat.
So the juggling then isn't an issue? You don't feel with the agency? What about the agency? How's that going and what's the plans for that then?
So the agency is going all right. So similar to like sourcing and investing, I have no plan for it. It was purely, I started it because I was doing a meta ad campaign, which I started when I was doing the mentoring with you and Matt. And most of the leads that I was getting were better suited selling on the market.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't I just add this little solution onto my business? And then it gives me the opportunity to help more sellers and keep it in-house. And the ones that I don't want to sell, I can just refer them on.
Yeah.
So
what's your process then? So you're marketing, which is great, right? So you're already at that stage where, and your social media is brilliant. it's cracking. So you've got your social media, which will bring, I guess, some comments, messages, maybe some leads. You've got your marketing. And then how do you view that then? What's the sort of channels? Because you bring obviously a lot to us, which we'll speak about, but how do you always look to take yourself, if not your agency, if not us?
Yeah, I always just start with a conversation, and some of them I'll go out and view, and sometimes I won't. For example, like say I get one that feels like it's going to be a good estate agency one, but it's in like Kirkintilloch or wherever. I'm not going to sell that because I just don't have the time. I can't do viewings, and I'd be doing a disservice to the seller to take that on. So instantly I'm like, right, I'm going to sell Smart Sales and Investment Solution.
Yep.
For me, like what I take on estate agency wise, it needs to be within like 10-20 minutes of my home.
Right.
So that I can get out there, facilitate the home report if need to be. I can get out there and do viewings quickly, and then it doesn't detract me from my 9-to-5 as much.
So where's your marketing going out then? Is it just that your area and somehow these leads, or are you going out wider anyway? Just to
think my current campaign, I think, is Glasgow plus 30k, and that is with the understanding that majority of leads are probably going to get referred to you. Genuinely, that is like, it's a total cheat code, but it's a cheat code because I'm like, it's minimal work. I get paid more than I do if I was to sell a property through my estate agency because traditional estate agents' fees are crap.
Yeah.
So I've really taken that sort of solution on board where I feel like your solution is my solution. I'm just going out and it's almost like I'm an employee of the company, and that's how I pitch it to clients.
I feel like you've definitely got the grasp of what we're trying to put out there in terms of like working with. Like sometimes it can feel like we're just trying to get bring your deals to us, bring your deals to us. I'm always quite forward in saying that's not what you want to do initially. Obviously, every single person should be looking to take the deals for themselves. 99% don't work out like that because, they're just harder to get. The leads are harder to convert, harder to get the discount that we want to flip or all money out or whatever. But obviously the business that the business model, charging the buyer, taking the fees for the client and stuff like that, works. And you're one of maybe 2 or 3 that can really see the value in that. It's not just about just give us everything, but it's about like, right, this doesn't work for me, so I'm not even going to try. It's just get it over to them as quick as we can so we can try and convert it, So you've really seen the value.
Yeah. I think it was probably about last January, February, I had a conversation with you. I was like, I'd like to learn your sales process to know what you actually offer, because I was going out to, I think, a lead in Kilmarnock, which we eventually signed up to you. And I just wanted to be able to talk through it competently, because if you can in front of a seller, then they're obviously more likely to sign up. So you need to know the benefits of you versus others, and things like you pay the marketing fee. So that's like that bit of skin in the game at the start, incentivizing us to sell.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've really taken on board what your solution is, so that when I'm going out, I know what solution I'm going to pitch, because I've had a lead before where I went out and I beforehand pitched your solution, and because I was like, oh, this place is way to be rough,
right.
and I don't want it through my state agency. And when I got there, it was lovely, and I was like, I want this one. And I then tried to switch out your solution for mine, and it confused them,
really?
and they just ended up going to the Scottish Property Centre.
Oh, right, okay.
So that was a lesson learned where I'm like, I need to know what solution I'm pitching.
Aye, fair enough. In terms of, sorry, just jump back again with the ads, just something I wanted to ask, because you run ads yourself, and loads of people, especially our audience that probably watch and listen, will eventually want to get there if they are sourcing, if they're trying to source their own deals. So how do you find running ads yourself? Obviously, I'm lucky enough now to have Ben that's doing all the ad campaigns for us. And yeah, when I'd done it myself, it was every time I went into it, something had changed. This new feature, this new AI thing, this is introduced, that's introduced. And it's like, so how are you finding your leads? How are you setting up your campaign? Where did you learn, and what's your sort of results of it?
In terms of learning, I think you shared a video with me.
Right.
When we were doing the mentoring. So I watched that video, set up my first campaign. I think it was just maybe static images that I ran at that. And I've probably done like maybe 10 campaigns since then. And they all come with like varying results. But what I've found is that, well, in terms of the ad set, like your target audience, I do in the past, I've done Glasgow, I've done Inverclyde, and I've done all over Ayrshire. But now I just try to target Glasgow plus a certain kilometre. That's the way I set up for my ad set. And then the creatives, it depends. Like, I'm current campaign, I've got 3 creatives. 2 of them were videos, 1 of them a static image, and I get better results with videos. So yeah, I do.
We just had a meeting today with one of my mentors, and some of our statics are actually working better. Than now, which is crazy, because I've been video. Yeah. The statics are actually working better than, there's one video that's outperforming everything, but the statics are working better than now for us.
That's good.
Aye.
Yeah, I guess that is the thing with Meta ads.
Aye.
No, it's like there's a secret sauce, and I feel like no one really knows what the secret sauce is, and some things work better for others, and it's a really hard code to crack. And what I've realised is, like, you just need to be willing to, the money that you put into it, you might not see it back.
Yeah.
And you need to be okay with that. But currently, I think I'm at like 7 leads. And you need to expect that like 20-30% of them might be Northern Ireland, might be England. They'll be outside your target area. Yeah. They'll already be on the market. They might have filled it out incorrectly, or someone's taken the piss. So there's not actually many warm leads.
Yeah.
That's why it's not my main strategy for finding leads. You get a lot better success with cold outreach on like Facebook groups, where you go in and you do whatever sort of pitch to sellers, I'm looking to buy, or whatever it might be. That's way
a good
better.
tip. So a lot of people are jumping onto that bandwagon now, aren't they? So,
annoyingly so. No, I'm just kidding.
It's always this usual faces you see pop up. So Facebook groups, any others that you do?
Yeah, my main ones. So deal flow, most of it comes Facebook groups.
Right.
I've had, since last year, had so much success with it. That's how I was getting direct to sellers and referring you guys so much. The second one would be meta ads. Third one would be probably Gumtree Marketplace.
Yep.
And then lastly would probably be organic posting.
So
I would say.
none through your socials now.
Organic,
I think
yeah.
So the organic's like last thing, because I think your socials is brilliant. I love your consistency over the years. You've just never really stopped. You've always just been like talking face to camera videos, just talking the captions, and you're just talking about like this is what you're doing and that, and then the odd time you'll make this really funny edit video, which I think is brilliant.
I sometimes overthink my socials because the way my brain is, like I'm a total perfectionist.
Right.
I feel like I've got like, I self-diagnose myself OCD, and like I feel like that's sort of attributed to like perfectionist. And I'm not saying what I do is perfect, but I'm always like, I don't want to put something out if I don't like it. So that's why it can lead to me like going a couple of weeks without posting, because I feel like I need to edit every video or there needs to be a great hook. Whereas that probably doesn't benefit me actually. I think I need to do more candid stories, talk people through the day, but then it was also hard when I've got a 9 to 5. So yeah.
I feel like people just, it's quite endearing that, because you have got a 9 to 5, you've got a family, you're doing the property stuff, and your videos just like talking about day-to-day stuff. I feel like it works for you somehow. I don't even feel like I'm saying that in a biased way. You know, it's just some people you watch and you just think, right, I want to watch them, and others you maybe go, right, nah, maybe no. You know, you maybe swipe, but I'm sure loads of people do that to me as well. But it's I don't know. There's just something about the way you come across in your videos. It's quite good. You know what I mean? So
that's good to hear.
I think you should.
It takes practice though,
right?
Because you do get better over time. You get more comfortable on camera. Like there's this video that me and my girlfriend laugh about, and it was me wishing everyone a happy Christmas and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I've literally just started sourcing and I'm sitting there pure miserable. And my voice is like, I sound depressed.
Right.
But me and my girlfriend laugh at it so much because you see the evolution as you post more and more and more. You come out your shell, you sort of find your little niche, and you get more comfortable hearing your own voice. You don't cringe at the sound of it. So you've just got to like push through it.
Back for the start, man. Oh, they're horrendous.
You see it with like other people. Like if you go back, look at their old videos, they're pretty robotic at the start 100%. And they get more comfortable.
I still feel like that now. Like even as soon as that camera goes in your face, there's just something that tightens up in you.
100%.
There's something that tightens up. There's something that gets a wee bit more robotic. The best ones are when it's just kind of spur of the moment and you've had a Canon Utonic or something like that and you're like, right, let's just do it, and it just starts coming out and it's just done. Take, one and done with the takes instead of I've messed that up, and then you just start overthinking it and it just gets tougher, doesn't it?
Definitely.
So on to the numbers, deals that you're doing, stuff like that. Do you want to... Let's take a run through actually. So I'll get my phone, I'll get that I forgot to put in the iPad, but I'll get the numbers out, right? So
first deal was done April 24, and that was a 2-bed cottage flat in Dalry.
April, you can read it. I'm sure the guest.
First deal done April 24, 2-bed cottage flat Dalry.
Did we sell that?
Yeah, you sold that. Well, you sold everything.
Part of one, you said.
I know. And that was literally just coming towards the end of the mentoring. Yeah. So it was like brilliant. I've got proof of concept now.
I'm buzzing with that as well.
I know.
You were the first mentor client, weren't you?
Well, I think you had Alicia, was it? She didn't finish it. She didn't finish it.
Aye.
So, but I'd already had price agreed on multiple ones, and we had that 1-bed flat in Ayr. Mind, we'd found an investor and we got beat to the offer by 10 minutes. And it was Alex Coghill, and I was like, you dirty bastard. Yeah. But so in the past 2 years, I've now done 23 deals, 12 direct to investors, and 11 on-market referrals that you've sold.
Right.
Of the 23 deals, 22 have been with you. Only one of the deals was co-sourced with another sourcer. I've had 7 estate agency sales all over Glasgow, totaling 1.18 million.
In fees?
Fees, 30, hopefully HMRC aren't listening, 36,928 to be exact. But that doesn't include the fees that I get from you for packaging deals, and also that £500 addition for referring 5 properties.
So what, just under 40 grand there, did you say?
Yes.
39,000 something?
Not too bad. Not including flip profit.
Since 2023? Really?
24.
Since 2024?
April 24.
That is good going, mate.
Yeah, it doesn't include, obviously I think there's about 4 or 5 on the market with you right now that either have sold or haven't sold. Aye. So obviously there's fees there coming, so it's good. Like and I feel like I almost don't do that much work to like generate those types of deals. It's pretty low stress and low time.
Is there ever any a time where you think, or previously, like, damn, I shouldn't have gave that to them, or something like that? You just seem quite happy to just go like, I've spoke to them, you take it, you deal with it.
Nothing yet.
Yeah.
Nah, it made me feel different if I referred you something and it's like a 60k flip.
There's a 15.
You could have told me.
So out of all the deals then, so you've obviously you've referred how many?
23.
23 wheels. That's amazing, mate, honestly. So what would you say has been your favourite deal so far?
Favourite deal? It might be the first one, just because it's at like that proof of concept.
A lot of people say that, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like you see everybody else doing it, but until you do it, it's almost as if it can't be done. It's like I need to go and do it for myself to know. Yeah.
I'm not really attached to any of the deals, to be honest. Like, well, toe cross. Yeah. But that's I do like that one because obviously it's like I really wanted to do a flip, so it was amazing to get that, to be able to negotiate the price down. But actually, in terms of like sourcing, my first one's probably the best.
Yeah. So toe cross then, sorry. So that is a joint venture with me and you, a double joint venture. So toe cross, you were in legals for it, you were going to buy it, you reached out to me, I've funded the refurb, you've sourced me another one in Carna Drive, which is Sims Hill. It's funny because you see what you were saying, that, where was that first one that you bought? That first buy to let, you said
on Hack Hill. It was Denniston. Yeah.
I'm calling Sims Hill Shawlands. I was calling that Shawlands for a way, but it's not.
All the estate agents do it. You have new build flats in Pollock Shaws, but it's on the perimeter of Shawlands, and they're like Shawlands.
Shaws, aye, that's what I've been doing as well. So, what was I saying there? So you bought that. I came in for the refurb. I bought Carna Drive in Sims Hill / Shawlands, and you will get a 50% over a certain sale price. So hopefully we get that home report or slightly higher. If we get a home report and we can push it a wee bit, and we can hopefully get off over home report, and then that'll be your cut for that one. I'll give you the sourcing fee. I hope that makes sense. I was a bit disjointed the way I've described that, but tell us about it. Tell us about the joint venture. Tell us about why you approached me, and then how you sourced the toll cross one and stuff like that as well.
So in terms of sourcing toll cross, it was a Facebook group. Put a post out there, I'm looking to buy, or I can help you sell your property quick, whatever it was.
Don't have everybody in the groups now, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I know. They're so diluted. You end up getting blocked as well from a lot of them, get chucked out. But the guy's brother reached out to me and he just said, look, my brother, he needs to sell quick. And at this point, don't know what the property looks like, but I was like, I'll come and view it. Walked in and I'm like, this is a gold mine. Like, if you can get it for a good price, obviously. The guy really needs to sell quick. He'd lost his job. So I just... You know
what the actual story was, but that came out?
Oh, I know, I've heard.
Were you there when we were talking to him, no?
Yeah, you're right. Aye. And Adam's sister actually confirmed it.
This, can I?
I don't know. I wasn't, wait, no, because the sale's not completed yet. So the...
No, but no, the reason for the guy selling...
Yeah. But obviously, we don't know if it's true. But
aye, we don't know if it's true. Aye, we better know because we don't know.
We don't want the buyer as well to hear it and pull out.
Aye, true. Actually,
I'm sure they wouldn't. Yeah. So
sorry, mate. Go on.
Aye. So I negotiated the price based on them wanting to sell quick and how much it needed spent on it. Because I was like, probably needs a rewire, probably needs new windows. It did need a couple of new windows, and it just needs a lot of work done. And for a 1-bed flat, like we spent a lot of money on it. So, yeah, I just went in with that and they accepted it, didn't push back. I went in lower than the ADS threshold and with the intention that I'll go up to 40, but they're like, nah, we'll take 38.
How annoying is that though, when they take the first offer and you're like, right, I could have maybe got a couple of can more off.
I think I'd gone in so low because I was like, I don't know how this sits with me as well, like this being candid. I could have sold that for more money another way. So I sort of battle with that, like, should I have pitched him all the different solutions rather than just, here's my offer? But then I'm like, he needed to sell quick. He wanted to sell privately, and maybe that's tied into like the reason why he was selling.
Yeah.
And he was awaited default on his mortgage, so I agreed to pay his mortgage for however long it took to buy it. So I feel like I was giving him the best solution for him at that moment, even though it was a heavy discounted offer.
Yeah. Okay, so the negotiation then, there wasn't much of it, and it was just a case of how did you fund it? Where did your funds come from? Want a cash by bridge?
Bridge. First time bridging. And I actually didn't have the money to even pay the deposit. So I did a money transfer from a credit card. I think I transferred like 12k, which was about the bridge deposit plus the bridging fees. Paid the solicitor myself, whatever. And then I funded the running costs. So like the utilities, the council tax, the bridging, monthly payments and all that. And then I had a chat with you before I was away to complete on it. And I'm like, if I raise private finance to do the refurb and then I refinance and I pull probably all my money back out, I'm going to be back. I'll pay my credit card off and I'll be back in that position where I have no money, all for the sake of £300 cash flow.
Yeah.
And you were like, what's the point? Why not flip it? And then you can build that cash pot to the point you can be more flexible. So it sort of happened alongside me finding the car and a drive one. And so it made sense then. I was like, can I use Tollcross as leverage to you to be involved in car and a drive?
Yeah.
That's kind of quid pro quo, isn't it? Because we're both adding value in both of the joint ventures. So floated that, and that's here we are, done it.
That's it. So numbers on that, I mean, as far as the joint venture goes, good, decent enough.
I think so.
If you took it on yourself and you want to raise money and all that sort of stuff, you would have had day fees and stuff like that. So I think the net total that we're looking at is pretty good and split two ways. It's obviously still decent, is it? So what is do you know the overall sort of high level numbers?
Yeah, so it was, I bought it for 38k, pardon?
What was it worth at the time? Do you know?
When I bought it?
Aye.
I think the AVM came back at like 70, 75?
They're never really that. Sometimes they're a bit out the AVMs. But even at that, so say it was worth 70, you bought it for 38.
38. Spent just shy of 29 on it. Obviously all your other costs. Valued at 110. It's sold for 110, which we were hoping for a little bit more. But
I think we did push the home report a wee bit, didn't we? I mean, not dramatically, that was within reason, but sometimes when you do that, you do get caught with like they're not willing to go over that number. And then the time of the year as well, I think.
Definitely think time of the year. And also, I think also it was a one bed flat. That was my first time selling one through the estate agency, and it just felt more difficult. It was like first time buyers, they're harder to get a hold of, they're a bit more flaky.
Yeah.
So I feel like that didn't go in our favour there. But nevertheless, got full value for it. And I think profit is net profit 32k and a bit.
Okay.
Divided by 2.
Brilliant.
Not too bad.
It's superb. It's a brilliant first one to get.
For me as well, obviously, the benefit of having you was the project management, smart home improvements, get Gary in, and I'm like pure hands off, like no stress at all.
Content every now and again.
I'm not getting pissed around. I'm not getting shafted with like quotes and payments and all that. So, and that's the stuff I don't want to do. So for me, it was like pure hands off, and it just made sense to do it.
So what will be the plan when that money lands in? Will that be... So the great thing about that, right, so you've funded that yourself in the front end. So you know what I always think about, right, I always forget about, which is just this wee kind of bonus when it comes back, is you're thinking about the profit, but you forget about the money you've put into it. So when that comes back as well, it's like more money's landing in your account. It's not just the 16, 17 grand profit,
no.
you know what I mean? So it's always like that I forgot about that.
I hope I've got my calcs right, because I've got that on my Excel sheet, so I'm anticipating a certain number coming in. Yeah, so... But plan for that is to use the flip profit and the money from the refinance that I've just done and see what I can do in terms of flips, assisted sales. Maybe this Govan Hill lead that I've got.
Aye. Oh, it's a belter, that.
Potentially, yeah.
Definitely assisted sale written all over that.
I know.
Aye. Joint venture.
See.
Don't tell Adam.
Maybe. I know.
Right, okay, so what's been the biggest high in your journey so far, mate?
I would say, do you know what, I've written things down so I don't forget. I would say like fundamentally, like building a skill set that'll benefit me forever, I would say. And also building a business.
What's that main skill set, would you say?
To like, just one word, sales.
Yeah.
I would say like helping sellers with multiple solutions, getting them the sale that they need and they want for their situation. And yeah, also like leveraging your contacts. I think that's one of my major learnings that I've written down, is being able to like, oh, I know David had an investment property there, I could speak to him about that. Oh, Graham and Sybil have got a contact there. What's current value? What's end value? And then you can base your price off that. So that's the sort of skill set, is utilising my network and sales when I'm speaking to sellers.
This is just a sales and marketing industry, in my opinion. You know, property's a vehicle. It's like
Definitely.
Sales and marketing just all over it. Being able to speak to buyers, sellers, investors, you know, like you say, speaking to a surveyor, how you approach them, how you speak to an agent and whatnot, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Other highs, getting my son involved. Like, I do like bringing him out to viewings, getting him wearing like branded clothing.
Wait, is he again?
He's 6.5, so he's gotten to the point he knows like Dad's got a company, we sell houses and all that, and he was like, can you come into school and like tell the class what you do? So it's quite cool, and I'm sure you have the same experience with your little one.
I need to get my son more involved, actually.
It's cool though, because they then, obviously the natural progression is you probably want them to take over the business, but even though they might not want to, but it is good getting them involved, and they can. I don't necessarily want my son as well to take the traditional path of thinking he has to go to uni. Like, you can do it if he wants to, but I want him to know that there's other paths out there.
Do you know something? I totally agree with that. If anything, I'm a wee bit more, you know, seeing him just schooling that, and I've not got too much to say on that, but when they go to high school, like my mum and dad were, you know, stick in, do your homework. They weren't pure on me, by the way, because I was a very average just pupil across the board. Every single standard grade I got was a 3. So that's like a high general. Every one, all 8, a 3. So that's how average I actually was. But they didn't mega push it on me, and that's definitely something I won't mega push on my children at all. I just don't feel like university's 100% not the be all and end all. Student loan, and then you go and you're in a job on 28, 35 grand a year when you first start. And to get up to the 60, 70, 80 grand mark, you're there for years. And you know, I'm not saying everybody should just go and start a business or whatever, but apprenticeships, you know, you can make as much money as doing university degrees and stuff like that. So it is very much about what they want to do at the time, but you'd like to think that you're creating something here that it's easy for them to transition into in the future, and they're likely going to want to when they see how well you're doing and whatnot, you know? Yeah,
I feel like getting involved in property, it opens your mind up to what else is out there. And like, I feel like although I've got a job, I am not like a slave to my job. I know that there's other stuff out there. Whereas before, I was like, I want to climb the corporate ladder, I want to be a director, and I want to retire with a good pension. But my mindset has completely shifted since being in property.
Seems like you've got the perfect job as well, mate, because your last job, it's funny, can you tell that story about how you were going in and...
Aye.
Can you?
Yeah. There's been a couple of those instances, Like literally the last one that happened.
So remember when you were going in to go like that, I'm out of here, and you end up getting the pay packet and stuff?
So I joined, I'd been interviewing to a company. I had a current role, I was interviewing to another company, and they were taking ages, like 4, 5, 6 months. And they're like, right, you've got the job, your offer's coming. And they're like, it'll be with you next week. So, but then the same week, the previous week, I'd been told by my manager that you wanted to speak to me. I was like, oh, well, we'll see what this is. I come in on Monday and I get the job offer and I see the money and I'm like, quality, I'm out here. But I was good friends with my manager, so I was like, I'll take a few days to digest it and have a think about how I'm going to tell him. I'll tell him on Thursday. So job offer Monday, I'll tell him Thursday. I walk into the office at like 8:30 a.m. I plug in my laptop, I get a tap on the shoulder on Tuesday and like come in and they're like, it's just not worked out, we're letting you go. And I was like, all right. And
you were going to resign anyway?
And I was waiting to hand my notice in, and they're like, we'll get HR in though and they can tell you how much money they're going to give you. And I was like, come on.
It's so strong.
I know. And obviously if they'd waited a few more days, they'd gotten it for free, but they gave me an absolute chunk of cash to leave. Obviously, so fortunate. And then I walked into a better job, a better salary and all that.
Then you're raging, you're on a joint venture with me because that cash could have done your
refund. I know. Nah, it's all good.
Yeah. That's a good story, that. So what's been the lowest point, mate?
I've never had like a proper low point. I mean, I guess now that I think about it, when the first week of the refurb in Towcross, when we had a leak, that was a pain in the ass.
Right.
Like
I was on holiday at the time.
the tenant below, I was away to go on holiday as well. Like the tenant below was disgruntled. The owner was like hounding us, threatening us, going to the papers and all that stuff. Like, so that was a pain in the ass.
Since, isn't she?
Pardon?
She was fine since.
She apologised and all that and stuff. Yeah, so that was a bit stressful. But in terms of the lows, I said before, it can be mundane at times and you just need to keep plodding away. Constant rejection, I would say. It's definitely starting out as you're learning the craft, learning what to say, how to position things. You're probably going to have a lot more rejection than once you've taken on board feedback and gotten better at your craft and so on. A constant one for me, building a pipeline is really difficult. Where you've got a constant flow coming in. Like Facebook groups, you're not guaranteed to get leads. If you've got a meta ad marketing campaign, you're probably going to get leads, but they're going to be rubbish.
Yep.
So it's like not having that consistent pipeline that can be difficult because you never necessarily know where your next lead's going to come from. Feeling like I don't post on socials enough. That constant pressure of like, I'm doing well here, but I'm not doing enough there and all that stuff. So it's like a bit of a battle. And like I've said before, feeling like my content needs to be perfect rather than just like...
Just getting the camera out.
Get the camera out, put some captions on it and whip it out.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my lows. Nothing too bad though.
It's not really, I wouldn't say it's lows. It's just, I think it's stuff that everybody probably feels at one time or another, especially the pipeline thing, because that was massive for me, just leaving the shipyards. It's like I had to have a pipeline, I had to have deals like happening. Pipeline cash flow it was, you know what I mean? So if you've not got that, then there's no way you can even think about leaving your job. Not that you want to, but for me that was a big one. You know, how do I build my pipeline? How do I build my pipeline?
I can imagine your lows are more severe. Like mine's are quite surface level trivial. Yours must be like, oh shit.
Do you know it's mad, right? See back at the start, I used to take it really personal when a deal didn't work out. Like, what did I do wrong? How have I fucked that up? Like, why have they went somewhere else? Why have I not secured that? And it used to just eat away at me. And then I used to think, God, I'm never going to make it. This is rubbish, you know. But I already had other deals going on in pipeline, but the ones that didn't work out really, really affected me more than the ones that did. The ones that did was just, well, that's what was meant to happen. I'm meant to go do these deals. I'm meant to go and make money. I'm meant to. So I was like, I never, ever, ever gave myself a pat on the back ever. It was always like kick myself for the ones that didn't work out. And see now, I'm not as bad, obviously, right? But we've thought we had an assisted sale agreed in the day. You know, it looks like it might be off the cards now. And like I was like gutter, you know, I'm gutted because we'd worked on it, worked hard on it, and it's just like inside you, you're just like, man, it still eats you. It's not like just, it doesn't matter, away we go. We're still trying to kind of resurrect it a little bit, but it's still kind of eats you up a wee bit. It just consumes you for that period of time during the morning, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to switch off, because you take those problems home. Yeah, like I'll be having a conversation with my partner, and she'll be telling me something, and my mind is like, that seller, that conversation. Right. She's like, you're not paying attention, are you? I'm like, it's hard to leave the property stuff, like, put it in a box, because it is
absolutely not.
A 24/7 thing.
It's constant. Like, I can't tell you the amount of times Alana said to me, it's like talking to a brick wall.
Yeah.
Literally, and I've had to like try and make these wee subtle changes and go in, the kids are there, put my phone away, and then I'm like finding an excuse to go into my room, like change my socks again,
in the toilet for 3 hours.
What are you doing in there? Oh, literally, man, it's like, again, but I think it's, do you know what it is? It's this industry consumes you. In a good way, but maybe in a bad way for that when you go home and you take it home, but like more so in a good way, in that, you know, it takes over. Like, you just get this a passion. I think it's a passion thing.
Definitely.
And it consumes you. It's like, and you're trying to build this business, and you're obsessed with it. That's the word I was looking for there. Yeah. You're obsessed with it. So
it's hard to be present. That, like, being present in that moment, especially family time. But I also think there's a benefit though to your kids seeing you grafting and knowing that you're out there like trying to make it on your own for your surname and all that stuff. So I think there's a delicate balance to do.
Like, I've had one before where I've been on my phone and Sonny's next to me, and he's at that age now where he's dead aware, and he says, Dad, put your phone away, and you feel dead bad. And something came up on my TikTok, it's like, do you know kids notice when you're on your phone and all that? I was like, I've Fucking terrible, man. I put my phone away. I was like, sorry, give me a cuddle.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so cracking on. So, was there ever a moment, is there ever any moments, mate, where you just go to you go like that to yourself? I just don't think this is worth it. Should I just go back to like properly pursuing the corporate ladder?
Never.
I don't think there was.
I've never had that doubt. Nah, even when I was starting out, like, I was learning and I was doing the mentorship, I was getting out there doing the viewings, I always knew I was going to have some success. I always knew I'd be able to do some deals, and yeah, it was just, I've just never really had that doubt in my mind. I know that I'm going to stick at it, and it's what's taught me in the corporate world. I feel like there's not many things I can't do if I apply myself. I don't think I'd be a good like surgeon or anything like that, but like see most things within sales, marketing, strategy, I feel like I can do it.
Yep.
So I knew it was just about me learning, applying it, and then constantly try to get better.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of mindset that I've tried to take to it.
Brilliant. Any big mistakes you've made? You think, oh, apart from paying, what was it, 15 grand of labor report for a buy to let?
Mistakes? You know, nothing comes to my mind. Nah, I'm happy to lose out on certain things and not make as much money on certain other things, but nah, no major mistakes, I don't think.
So one thing, one piece of advice you could offer beginners. What's the biggest bit of advice you would offer a beginner right now, 2026, January, get into the new year?
Yeah, I would say seek out learning, and the main thing, take action. So many people sit on the sidelines watching other people do it. Take action, because at least if you take action and fail, you'll never have that doubt of like, what if I try it, rather than watching other people do it and just never doing it, never giving it a go.
So I say this all the time, right? The two words, take action, right? And it's, what's take action to you? What would that be?
I guess firstly, starting off, looking on Rightmove, I would say get your foot in the door that way. Well, probably firstly learn. I would say join the community, plug for Property Coaching Network. And definitely a cheat code was mentoring, because that just like completely propels your journey. So yeah, but then actually going out doing the viewings, speaking to agents, offering on everything you view, because you'll get those awkward conversations where they're like, what? No way they'll accept that. And then you can justify why you're offering that, get the rejection, get better at that conversation, continue to do the viewings, build the relationships with estate agents. Yeah, and then posting on socials as you're doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think for me, one of the biggest ones just in terms of socials is just start posting right away. And it's the hardest thing for people to do, because it's out their comfort zone and it's friends and family are there, and I went through all the same sort of stuff. I think everybody does. But it's like, post it. I've heard people say to me recently, in fact, as well, like, I'll post when the deal completes, or I'll post when this happens. And I'm like, no, you've got the deal, you've sourced the deal, you've structured it, it's in legals. You've probably got about 5 or 6 posts worth of stuff that's happened already.
Yeah.
So start posting about it now. Also post about all your struggles and your learnings and how hard it is, and, you know, hit my head against a brick wall, because people are just following you because they're interested in you, and then the hardship. And then once the results start to come, a wee bit more, you probably get a wee bit more interaction and support and stuff like that, because they've seen how you've grafted through it, rather than popping up and saying, I've just done this deal. And they're like, what deal, what are you talking about? Because they've not actually seen your journey so far, you know? Yeah,
that's true, actually, showing that sort of like the deal throughout the full life cycle. And in addition to that, it's like, put yourself on camera. You don't necessarily need to do a video, but if you wanted to source, I'm a big believer that you need to put a face to your brand.
100%. Aye.
Don't need to do a video, but definitely have yourself in photos, because if I was to put myself in the shoes of a seller, I'm probably not going to sell to someone who I don't know who he is, if he's not going to put himself on the socials. Him or her, sorry. But
that's an absolute must. You need to, even if it's a selfie outside the property or something, people need to see your face. It's a people by people in the property world and in the sourcing world, for sure. Okay, another bit of advice. Say somebody is in a corporate job, they've got a really good salary, but they really want to get into property. What would your advice be to them?
They don't want to.
They do.
Do you know, actually, someone reached out to me privately the other day saying he was in the same situation. Right. And, well, the way I juggle it is like, I try not to blur the lines, which is really difficult. But, yeah, I really need to try my best, because my company it's quite a private confidential company, we need to sign conflict of interest forms every year where I have to disclose my property stuff.
Right.
And they're very private. You have to tick the box that you're not doing property stuff during work time. And obviously this is at 7 p.m. at night.
Right.
Yeah, so the advice, like, I would try and, like, for me, between the point of waking up and 9 a.m, I can do property stuff in amongst getting my son ready for school. So I'll do property stuff then, lunch break, do property stuff, after 4 p.m, do property stuff. And more recently, it's not fun, but see, between 10 and midnight, I'll occasionally crack the laptop open.
Yeah,
Just this
I'm
year.
quite a late worker as well.
Yeah, it's not fun to do it, like, but
I enjoy it.
Sometimes needs must.
No that late, that late, because I like to get to my bed at a certain time, right?
Which is fair, because then you get up early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once the kids are down sleeping, it's like maybe about 8 to 10ish sometimes, maybe just after.
Mm-hmm.
The laptop will be open, and sometimes I feel like it's the most productive 2 hours of my day, to be honest. Because when you're upstairs and they hyenas up there, do you know what I mean? You're kind of getting in done sometimes.
No way.
So it's like, let's all go, you know, the energy and stuff like that. I'm kidding, but it's brilliant. But sometimes it's just like nobody's messaging you then. Everybody's switched off and you can actually focus on something, do you know what I mean?
And then, like, if you've got a job and you want to do property, if it's important to you, you'll make it work. You'll figure out a routine that works for you, your family, your job, and you'll just make it work. But I think sometimes people just don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest restriction from them actually taking the first step.
I think of the courses as well. It's like, right, so what do I do now? You've just been taught all the information. You've kind of been told what to do a little bit, I suppose, to an extent. But it's like, I remember I said to Alan, right, I'm going up to my attic now. That's my day one type thing. And I went up to my attic and I just looked at all my documents. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I had no idea. And again, it's just like, we just need to take some sort of action. I made a couple of calls and I started to kind of get my face known a wee bit and stuff, going about, do viewings and stuff, and just all the stuff you need to do.
Take the donuts into the stages.
No, never done that. No. It's never me. So, okay, cool. So, what, in terms of just your goals then, mate, I know you said you've not really got any, but you must have something that you're like, right, 2026 would be great to achieve X amount of referrals or, like 2 flips or something. So what is your goals for this year?
I would like one flip or an assisted sale, something to just keep building that pot of cash. And then in terms of investing, like, I'm totally off buy-to-lets. I do want to eventually dip my toe in serviced accommodation. That's why I speak to Alex Coghill so much and running things by him. I speak to like Scott McFarlane at Retrofit as well, because I'd quite like to probably learn a bit more about that and get a bit more guidance as to like when the time comes to investing. So aside from that, it's just try to churn out the deals. I've not got like a certain number that I want to hit. I did last year, but I probably recognise that I've not got as much free time this year to hit what I did last year. But we've made a good start. We've done one deal already, so
exactly.
See what comes.
Week in January. So have you got any ambitions about like increasing the marketing spend and trying to get more for yourself as well as more referrals, or is it just exactly the same as last year, same budget, same sort of dedication, time-wise and stuff like that? I
never have a budget for my marketing spend. I mean, I've got a budget in terms of how much I'm willing to spend per day, but if the campaign's rubbish, I'll just turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a set time period that I'm going to run it for, and I'm going to spend $2,000 on this. I'm going to test it out. If it's not working, I'll turn it off or turn off certain creatives. So, yeah, I've got a campaign going right now. Done about 7 leads. Not sure if we'll make a return on them, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll take it as it comes with
what was the one
campaign.
that we've sold today? Was that a Meta lead or?
No, that was a Facebook group. The guy, like, he'd gone totally cold on me. He reached back out in December last year, and I just flicked it to Adam in January. Sold. It's good.
Nice one, mate. Nice one.
I've thought of my mistake though, right?
Aye.
And it's maybe a bit of a learning, but if you're sourcing, you go out to a seller, don't just pitch the lowball offer, because it's the quickest way for them to tell you no, and they're going to go to someone else. I think I spoke to you where you gave me the advice, like, when you go out, you need to come across to them like you're their one-stop shop, their only solution for selling the property. Yep. So that's what I do now. I give them, I was listening to a Hormozy thing, and I think he calls it MISO, and it's multiple equivalent simultaneous offers. So it's like, look, I can help you. I'm the best person to sell this property. We've got multiple solutions, and basically I'll tell you them and you can pick what one works for you. So, you know, the power, the control is totally in your hands. So if we're to buy it, here's the offer. If we're to sell it off market to an investor, I think they'd offer about that. But if you've got the luxury of time, you're happy for us to take it on the market, I would hope to achieve about that. So it gives them options rather than just going in with that low ball offer.
That's the best bit of advice you could have gave there, because again, at the start, I've done it multiple times. It was like, right, how do I make the most out of this? But it's not about you, it's about them. It's about what they want in their situation. And see, be honest, you and everybody else has all the solutions. You just might not think you do, because if they're saying they want to take it on the market, you've got a referral in Smart Sales. If they're saying they want to go to auction, you've got the auction guy, you've got Prime, you've got other auction companies. If you're saying they want a quick sale, if they want a quick sale, then you're like, right, okay, well, where are we in price then? Because obviously a quick sale, I can get a cash buyer, but it won't be a discount. You know, so it's all about what they want. That's it. It's not about you. And that's probably, once I learned that, everything changed. When it's all, you do not even need to negotiate with them, because once you start negotiating for yourself, you're losing it. Yeah.
Also, try and go above and beyond for sellers. Do them little favours. They might be like, oh, we'd hope to get 140. Like, see the Carmyle listing. They were like, I know one sold for 140. We really want to get that. So I was like, look, I'll speak to my surveyor and I'll try and get them to confirm they can do 140. And the surveyor did that verbally, but they also needed to rip out the property because it was totally gubbed. So I was like, well, let me put you in touch with a removal company, reliable, they're cheap, do great work. So I put them in touch with Better Call Hall. And so straight away I've done 2 favours for them. So when I went back out to do the proper valuation, they were like, let's do it. Let's sell, like sign up there on the spot type thing.
Yeah. Brilliant, mate. That was superb. So thanks very much. Do you want to tell people your Instagram or wherever they want to get you or anything like that?
Yes. Follow alexanderson.property on Instagram and Alex Anderson Property on Facebook.
Nice one, mate. Thanks very much.
Mate.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thanks very much for watching episode 20 of Property Coaching Network podcast. Spoke a lot there about, you know, referring and sales and sourcing and flips and all sorts of stuff. So if you took some good value, I'd appreciate if you could subscribe. We've got so many more guests lined up already in 2026. If you are a property sourcer, if you're an agent, if you've got a property on the market that you can't get sold at the minute, feel free to reach out to Smart Sales and Investments. Alex has done over 20 referrals and made a lot of money in 2025. We're looking to work with as many people in 2026 as possible. So, as I say, sourcers, agents, anybody, bring us the deals that you can't sell, bring us the deals that are sitting there that are dead. We'll see what we can do with them. And I will see you in the next one, which will be very soon, with a really, really interesting and funny guest. Cheers.